How to create a KDP book cover in Canva. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today, I'll show you how to create a professional book cover for Kindle Direct Publishing using Canva. Let's get started. First, make sure you have a Kindle Direct Publishing KDP account. If you already use Amazon, just log in with your existing details at kdp.amazon.com. If not, click Join KDP to create a new Amazon account. It's quick and easy. On the registration page, you'll need to provide a few basic details to create your Amazon account. These include your first name, a valid email address, and a secure password. Once you've filled in the required fields, go ahead and click on the Create Account button. After that, follow any on-screen instructions to verify your email, and you'll be all set. Since an Amazon account is required to access Kindle Direct Publishing, once you're signed in, you'll be taken to your KDP dashboard. From here, you'll be able to manage your titles, track your royalties, and of course, start the process of creating your book. There are several options available on the dashboard, including the ability to create a paperback or ebook. We'll come back to those features a bit later. For now, let's switch our focus over to Canva. This is the platform we'll use to design the book cover. Canva is a user-friendly graphic design tool that allows you to create visually appealing content even if you don't have any prior design experience. If you already have a Canva account, that's great. Go ahead and log in. If not, don't worry, creating an account is very quick and easy. To create a new Canva account, just visit Canva's website and choose the option to sign up. You can register using your Google account, email address, or another supported method. Personally, using a Google account is often the fastest route as it eliminates the need to remember a separate password. Once you've signed in, you'll be taken to Canva's homepage, where you can begin designing right away. It's also worth mentioning that Canva offers a free plan that includes a wide range of features and design templates. While there is a paid version called Canva Pro, which includes additional tools and premium assets, the free version is more than sufficient for creating a high-quality book cover, especially if you're just starting out. At this stage, if your goal is to create a book cover, Canva makes the process incredibly easy and beginner-friendly. Whether you're designing your first book cover or you've done this before, Canva provides a wide range of tools and templates that allow you to build a high-quality cover without needing advanced graphic design skills. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at how to get started. First, head over to Canva's homepage. On the main dashboard, locate the search bar at the top of the screen. In this search bar, simply type in the phrase book cover. Once you type that in, you'll notice that Canva immediately suggests relevant options. Go ahead and click on the option labeled book cover. Now, when you select this, you'll see that Canva automatically sets the dimensions for you. Typically, it uses 1,410 pixels by 2,250 pixels, which is a standard size suitable for Kindle Direct Publishing. After clicking, Canva will display a large collection of pre-designed book cover templates, sorted by categories and styles. Take your time and browse through the available designs. There are dozens of eye-catching templates, each with its own theme, color scheme, and layout. You can scroll through and choose one that fits the genre or tone of your book, whether it's a romance novel, mystery thriller, children's book, self-help guide, or in our case, a recipe book. Now for this example, let's assume you're creating a recipe book. So you'll want to look for a template that gives off a clean, fresh, and visually appealing look, something that reflects food or culinary themes. As you're browsing, you'll notice that some of the templates have a small crown or star icon on them. That icon means the template contains elements that are part of Canva's Pro plan. If you see a design without that icon, that means it's completely free to use. So, if you're working with the free version of Canva, make sure to select a template that doesn't include any premium elements. In this case, let's say you found a nice, minimal recipe book cover that's free to use. Once you've made your selection, click on it. Then click the Customize this template button, and Canva will open the template editor in a new tab. Now this is where the fun begins. Once the editor opens, you'll be able to fully personalize the cover to match your book's style. You can click on any element within the template, whether it's text, background, or images, and make changes as needed. For example, you can modify the title of the book, adjust the font style and size, change the background image, or replace certain design elements with your own. On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll notice a vertical menu bar. This is where most of the design tools are located. Starting with the Design section, you'll find additional template suggestions here that you can swap in if you change your mind. Next, under the Elements tab, Canva provides a large library of shapes, graphics, icons, and illustrations. You can drag and drop any of these into your design to enhance the visual appeal of your book cover. If you'd prefer to build your cover from scratch rather than customizing a template, that's also an option. Simply start with a blank canvas, click Add a Heading or Add a Title, and begin adding your own elements one by one. Canva makes it easy to align everything, select colors, and apply professional fonts so your cover looks polished. As you continue designing, keep an eye on the overall balance of the layout. Make sure your title stands out clearly and that any images or graphics you add support the theme of your book. Once you're satisfied with how everything looks, you'll be ready to export your book cover and upload it to Kindle Direct Publishing, which we'll walk through in the next steps. Now, when it comes to enhancing the look of your book cover, I highly recommend using graphics. Graphics can really elevate your design and make it visually engaging, especially if you're aiming to catch the reader's attention at first glance. So once you're inside the Canva editor, head over to the left-hand menu and click on the Elements tab. Under this section, you'll find various types of content, but the one you want to focus on is graphics. Canva also uses AI-driven suggestions, which means once it recognizes that you're working on a cookbook or a recipe-themed project, it will automatically offer relevant graphics for that category under a section called Magic Recommendations. These suggestions are incredibly helpful, as they save you the time of searching through countless elements manually. For instance, you might see illustrations of kitchen utensils, food ingredients, cooking pots, plates, or beautifully styled dishes, all perfect additions for a recipe book cover. If you find a graphic you like a flat lay of desserts or cooking tools, you can use it as your cover's background. Just click on it to add it to the canvas, then resize, reposition, or rotate it as needed. Once it's in place, you're ready to add text. To insert text, either click the Text tab on the left or press the T key for a quick text box. Canva also suggests fonts that match your design, helping your layout stay consistent. Now type in your book title, say 100 Dessert Recipes. Use the top toolbar to adjust the font style, size, spacing, and alignment. Make the font bold so it stands out. Next, change the font color to ensure it contrasts well with the background. Try solid black or dark gray, and feel free to tweak the shade for better readability while keeping it visually appealing. Once you're satisfied with the font and color, position the title nicely in the center or upper portion of the cover. Make sure it's legible and eye-catching. You can also add a subtitle underneath, or include the author's name at the bottom if you wish. As you continue designing, feel free to explore additional tools on the left side. Maybe you want to add decorative borders, badges, or even a small image of a chef hat or spoon icon to tie in with the theme. All these little touches help bring your book cover together and give it a polished, professional look. At this point, if you want to take your design a step further, you can start customizing your book cover even more creatively. What we previously did was a simpler approach. We selected a single graphic and used it as a full background image. This method works well if you're aiming for a clean and minimalistic design. However, Canva also gives you the option to build a more intricate layout by manually placing individual graphic elements. For example, instead of using just one large background image, you could search for several smaller graphics, like food icons, recipe illustrations, or themed elements, and arrange them strategically around the canvas. Placing them in a circular layout or aligning them around the border can create a stylish collage-like effect. By adjusting their transparency or layering them with gradients, you can even simulate a soft fade effect in the background, adding depth to your cover. Once you've finalized your background design, The next step is to enhance your text using effects. Canva offers a variety of text effects to help your title stand out. Start by selecting the text you added earlier, and then look at the top toolbar for the Effects button. Click on it, and you'll see multiple styling options such as shadow, lift, splice, glitch, and more. For this project, let's go with something subtle and effective, like the lift effect. This adds a gentle glow behind the text, which helps make it pop against the background. You can also adjust the intensity of the effect using the available slider. If you prefer a more traditional design, the shadow effect is another great option. It creates a blurred shadow around the text that adds dimension. Once you've chosen your effect, you can fine-tune additional settings such as transparency, blur level, direction, and offset. These adjustments help customize the look until the text blends perfectly with your design while still being clearly visible and aesthetically pleasing. Now that your front cover design is complete, it's a good time to think about whether you want to create a back cover as well, especially if you're planning to publish a paperback version. A back cover typically includes elements like a brief description, author bio, or even a barcode space. If you're using Canva, you can simply add a second page to your design and follow the same process to create a matching back cover. Once everything is finalized and you're satisfied with your design, it's time to download your work. To do this, head up to the top right corner of the Canva editor and click on the Share button. From the drop-down options, select Download. Now, if your design has multiple pages, like both a front and back cover, Canva allows you to choose which pages you want to download. For this step, we'll just download the front cover. So, under the page selection, make sure only the second page, or the one you designed as your main cover, is selected. Before clicking Download, it's important to also select the correct file format. By default, Canva may suggest downloading as a PDF, but for uploading to Kindle Direct Publishing, a PNG file is usually more appropriate due to its high quality and compatibility. So, change the file type from PDF to PNG, confirm the page selection again, and then hit Download. Canva will process the file and begin the download shortly. Once it's saved to your computer, you're all set with the cover design. You can now preview the final version of your book cover and see how it looks. At this point, we're ready to head back over to Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing and begin setting up the actual book. To create your book content, one helpful resource is Project Gutenberg, a digital library offering thousands of free ebooks in the public domain. This is especially useful if you want to use classic texts or find content to reformate and self-publish legally. So, open your browser and go to www.gutenberg.org. Once you're on the site, you'll see a search bar where you can explore a vast collection of public domain books. Let's say for this demonstration, we want to create a short cookbook or quick read ebook. Type in a search term like quick cookbook or simple recipes and explore the available titles. You can browse, download, and even modify these texts if needed. So once you've found a suitable book on Project Gutenberg, in this case, we're using a cookbook for demonstration purposes, you can use it to create your sample book. Now, of course, if you're planning to publish your own book, you'll need to write your original content or have the legal rights to use any material you're uploading. What we're doing here is simply for instructional purposes. You'll see a list of available books related to household recipes, cooking techniques, and culinary traditions. Some of the titles you might come across include The White House Cookbook, The Closet of Sir Kenelm Digby Opened, and many others. You can scroll through the list until you find one that fits the type of content you want to work with. For this tutorial, we'll go ahead and choose Chocolate and Cocoa Recipes and Homemade Candy Recipes. This book looks promising and fits the dessert theme we're working with for our cover design. Once you've selected the book, it's time to download the file. On the book's page, you'll see a list of available formats such as plain text, HTML, Kindle, with images, EPUB, and more. For this walkthrough, we'll choose the HTML format in zip file, which includes the formatted content along with images if any are available. Click the download link and your file should begin downloading immediately. Once the file is saved to your computer, You now have all the material needed to start putting your Kindle book together. Now let's head back to Kindle Direct Publishing and begin the book creation process. Once you log in to your Kindle Direct Publishing dashboard, the first thing you'll need to do, especially if it's your first time using KDP, is to complete your account setup. This includes entering your author and payment information. These details are important because Amazon uses them to determine where your royalties should be sent. To complete this step, go to your account settings. Here you'll need to fill out information such as your name, mailing address, bank account details for receiving payments, and tax-related data. The requirements for this part may vary depending on your country of residence. For instance, tax forms may differ if you're based in the US versus another region. So be prepared to provide all relevant personal and financial details. Now, for the sake of this tutorial, and to keep things focused, we'll skip this portion since it's a more time-consuming step and will differ from person to person. But remember, you'll need to finish this section before you can publish your book and start earning royalties. So with that part noted, let's go ahead and start the book creation process. From your KDP dashboard, you'll notice several menu tabs at the top, such as Bookshelf, Reports, Community, and Marketing. We'll explore those features later. For now, let's focus on creating the book. To begin, click on the Create button. You may see options like Create eBook, Create Paperback, and Create Series. In this case, we'll select the option to create a title. This is where you'll enter all the essential information about your book and start building it out. Once you select this option, KDP will walk you through several setup stages, including choosing your book format, adding your manuscript, uploading your cover, and setting pricing. We'll go through each of those steps in detail in the upcoming section. Once you're inside your Kindle Direct Publishing dashboard, you'll notice several helpful sections, including options like Bookshelf, Reports, Community, Marketing, and a few tools and resources related to publishing. But for now, what we want to do is create our first book. So go ahead and click the Create button. After clicking on Create, you'll be presented with a list of publishing options. These include Series Page, if you want to create a group of related titles, Kindle eBook, for digital versions of your book, Paperback, for physical copies, Hardcover for a premium printed version. Which one you choose depends on your goal. But for this tutorial, we're going to select the Kindle eBook option since we're focusing on publishing a digital version. So go ahead and click Create eBook. Once you do that, you'll be taken to a new page divided into 3 main sections that you'll need to complete. Kindle eBook Details, Kindle eBook Content, Kindle eBook Pricing. We'll start with the first section, Kindle eBook Details. At the very top, you'll be asked to choose your book's primary language. This should match the language your manuscript is written in. For our example, that's English, so we'll select that from the drop-down. Now comes the book title section. Since we already created a book cover earlier and titled it 100 Dessert Recipes, let's stick with that. So in the book title field, enter 100 dessert recipes. This will be the main title readers see when your book is published. Next, there's an optional field for a subtitle. If your book has a more descriptive secondary title, such as Simple and Sweet Homemade Treats for Every Occasion, you can include that here. Subtitles help readers understand what your book is about and can improve visibility in search results. Below that, you'll find the series section. If your book is part of a continuing series, for example, Dessert Series Volume 1, Volume 2, etc., you can add that information here. This is useful if you plan to publish related books under a common theme or name in the future. You can create a series name and even indicate the volume number to organize your books properly. Next, you'll come to the edition number. This field is also optional. If this is your first version of the book, you can simply write first edition or leave it blank. If you're publishing an updated version later down the line, you can indicate the new edition here. For our demo, we'll just enter first edition for clarity. Also, if you're referencing content from a sample book, like the one we downloaded from Project Gutenberg, and it includes an edition number, you can use that as a placeholder. But again, it's always better to use your original content when you're actually publishing. At this point, you've filled in the basic book title information. The next steps will involve entering your author name, contributors, and a compelling description, all of which we'll cover in the following section. In our case, there's a mention of ebook number in the original source, so I'll use that as the edition number just for demonstration purposes. Next is the author section. Here you'll type in your first and last name. This is the name that will appear on your Kindle listing as the main author of the book. Right under that is the contributor section. You can add up to 9 other people who have helped in writing, editing, or designing the book. For example, illustrators, editors, or co-authors. This step is also optional. But in our case, since the original book credits Janet Mackenzie Hill as a contributor, we'll enter that name here. Make sure when entering names, especially multiple contributors, that you remove any commas or punctuation that might confuse the system. Kindle Direct Publishing prefers names to be written clearly without any special characters. Then we come to the book description field. This is where you'll provide a summary of what your book is about. This part is very important because it gives potential readers an idea of the content and style of the book. For this tutorial, I'm just copying a description from an existing public domain source to demonstrate. But if you're creating your own book, I highly recommend writing an original and engaging description in your own words. Once you've added the description, scroll down to the Publishing Rights section. Here, you'll be asked to confirm whether you own the copyright or if the content belongs to the public domain. If you are the original creator and hold full rights to your content, you should select I own the copyright and I hold the necessary publishing rights. But in this case, since we're using content from Project Gutenberg, which is a library of over 70,000 free public domain ebooks, we're going to select the option that says, "This is a public domain work." To quickly verify this, you can head over to the Project Gutenberg website, search for your book, and confirm that it's listed as public domain. These books are free to use and republish because their copyrights have expired, and that completes the first part of the setup. Once all of these details are in, you can move on to the next section where you'll upload your content and finalize your pricing. Now moving on to the next important step. Now let's continue with the audience and content information. The first question asks whether the book contains any sexually explicit content, images, or titles. In our case, this book is strictly educational and family-friendly, so we'll select No for all of these prompts. Next, we have the reading age section. This is where you'll enter the appropriate age range for your intended audience. For example, if this is a cookbook, then we probably wouldn't expect a 10-year-old to be the primary reader. A good range might be from 12 years and up, maybe even 18 and older if the content involves more advanced recipes or techniques. Choose the range based on what feels most appropriate for your specific book. After that, we need to choose the primary marketplace. This is the Amazon domain where you expect most of your sales to take place. If you're mainly targeting an American audience, you can choose Amazon.com. If your audience is in the UK, go with Amazon.co.uk or choose Amazon.in for India, and so on. You can pick the one most relevant to your market. If you're not sure, selecting Amazon.com is a safe option, as your book will still be visible on all other Amazon subdomains worldwide. Now let's get into selecting the category for your book. This is how Amazon organizes and displays books by subject, making it easier for readers to discover your work. Since we're uploading a cookbook, we'll click on Select Category, and from the list, we'll navigate to the Cooking section. Within that, we'll choose a subcategory like baking, and even more specific topics such as cakes, pastries, muffins, or cookies. You can select multiple subcategories if they fit your content. Once you're satisfied with your selections, click Save Categories. Finally, we come to the Keywords section. This is where you can add up to 7 keywords or phrases that describe your book and help readers find it during a search. These should be relevant and descriptive, but each keyword phrase should not exceed 50 characters. For example, for a baking book, your keywords might include easy baking recipes, cake and muffin guide, or dessert cookbook for beginners. Take your time to think about what potential readers might search for, and use that to craft strong, searchable keywords. Now, you're probably wondering, How do I choose the right keywords here? Well, it's actually pretty straightforward. On this page, you'll find the section where you can enter up to 7 keywords. These keywords are crucial because they help Amazon categorize and surface your book in relevant searches. So take a moment to think strategically. Just go ahead and start typing in the words or phrases that best describe your book. For example, since we're publishing a cookbook, our first keyword will simply be cookbook. Next, we'll add something more specific like baking. This helps target readers interested in that particular area. We'll also enter keywords such as chocolate cake, cake, dessert, and maybe even something like dessert cookbook. These are all related to the main theme of our book, and they increase the chances of it showing up when someone searches for similar content. Once you're happy with the keywords, you can scroll down to the pre-order section. Now, here's an important note. If your book is based on public domain content, you won't be able to set it for pre-order. But since ours is original content, we can just skip the pre-order option for now and move forward. You can either save your progress as a draft and continue later, or go ahead and click on Save and Continue to move to the next step, which is uploading the ebook content itself. All right, now we're on the ebook content page. This is where you'll be uploading your manuscript, which is basically the interior of your Kindle book. So how do we upload it? It's simple. Just click on the Upload ebook manuscript button. You'll need to upload the file in the format you've created it in, whether it's a .docx, EPUB, PDF, or even a zip file if you're including other assets. In our case, we've already prepared the manuscript, so I'm going to go ahead and select the file from my computer and upload it right here. You'll notice that once the upload starts, there will be a small indicator showing the progress. Just give it a few seconds. Once it's uploaded successfully, you'll see a confirmation, and it may take a moment to process the file depending on its size. While that's happening, we can move on to the book cover section. Now comes the exciting part, uploading your Kindle book cover. There are 2 ways to go about this. You can either use Amazon's built-in cover creator tool if you want to design one from scratch, or if you've already designed a professional cover using tools like Canva or Photoshop, you can upload that file directly here. Since we've already designed ours, we'll go with the Upload a Cover You Already Have option. Just make sure the file is in either JPEG or TIFF format, because other file types won't be accepted. Once you click Upload, select your cover file and wait a few seconds while it uploads. Now here's something important. If you get an error saying the file size or dimensions are incorrect, don't worry, it happens. In our case, we received an error message because the cover's dimensions didn't match Amazon's requirements. Let's take a look at what the required dimensions are. Kindle recommends a size of 2,560 pixels in height by 1,600 pixels in width. So if your current file doesn't match that, you'll need to adjust it before uploading again. To fix this, we'll head over to Canva, or whatever design tool you're using, and create a new canvas with the exact dimensions of 1,600 by 2,560 pixels. Once we have that set up, we'll simply copy the entire design from our previous cover and paste it onto this new canvas. Just be sure to center and align everything properly so the design looks clean. Once you're happy with the layout, go ahead and download the new version, making sure to choose JPEG format, and then come back here and upload it again. Once the manuscript and cover are uploaded successfully, you can preview everything using the Kindle Previewer tool to make sure everything looks just right before moving on to the pricing section. All right, now that our cover design is ready, let's go ahead and download it. We'll download it as a JPEG file with the recommended resolution of 1,600 by 2,500 pixels, which is perfect for Kindle cover uploads. So I'll click on the download button, select the JPEG format, set the size, and hit download. And just like that, it should start downloading to our system. And there we go. As you can see, it was uploaded successfully and is currently processing. That means we're good to go. Before we move forward, I want to quickly clarify something I should have mentioned earlier. When you upload content to KDP, you're asked whether the content is AI generated or not. In our case, it's not AI generated, so we'll go ahead and select No. That's an important step to get right. Now comes the Kindle ebook preview step. You'll see a message saying your file is being converted, and this may take a few minutes depending on your manuscript size. So for now, we'll let it process in the background. All right, once the processing is complete, you'll get a message that says, "Uploaded successfully." If there were any issues, KDP would have alerted us here with an error message, and we wouldn't be able to proceed. But since everything looks good, we can now click on the Launch Previewer. Here, Kindle will generate a preview of your ebook, allowing you to review formatting, layout, and other details. In this preview, it also flagged 2 possible spelling errors, which is super helpful. You can go in and make the necessary corrections before continuing. Now that we've verified the preview and everything looks good, let's move on to the final section, pricing and distribution. Click Save and Continue to proceed to the Kindle ebook pricing page. Here's where you'll handle things like KDP select enrollment, territories, royalty options, and pricing. First, if you want to enroll your book in the KDP Select program, you can opt in by checking the box. This gives Amazon exclusive distribution rights for your ebook for 90 days, in exchange for added promotional tools like Kindle Unlimited and Countdown deals. Next is the Territories section. You can either select all territories, worldwide rights, if you want your book to be available globally, or choose individual territories if you want to publish your book only in specific regions like the US, UK, or Asia. Then we have the Marketplace dropdown. This lets you choose your primary Amazon marketplace. For most people, this would be Amazon.com. Now, on to royalty and pricing. You'll see 2 royalty options, 35% and 70%. If you price your book between $2.99 and $9.99, you're eligible for the 70% royalty rate. If you price it outside that range, you'll get 35%. So choose the one that suits your pricing strategy best. Let's say we want to set the price to $15. Once you enter this, KDP will automatically calculate and populate the equivalent prices in other currencies and marketplaces. For example, about 1,200 rupees in India, 11 pounds in the UK, and so on. Once you're happy with everything, and if your account details are fully set up, you can click Publish Your Kindle ebook to make it live. But in our case, we still need to complete some required information in our KDP account settings, like tax details, payment preferences, and author info, before we can publish. Since that process can take a bit of time, we're going to save this as a draft for now. Just click on Save as Draft, and your progress will be saved until you're ready to complete the final steps. You can go ahead and finish that part on your own, since it mainly involves tax-related information, and that will vary based on your country or region of residence. It's important to provide accurate personal details during this step, so make sure to double-check everything before submitting. For now, we'll save the project as a draft, and that's pretty much it. That's how you can design a professional-looking cover for your Kindle Direct Publishing KDP book using Canva, and then take the necessary steps to publish it using the KDP platform. Once you're done, head back to the KDP homepage, and you'll notice your newly created book listed under your account. From here, you can continue editing your draft, or you can choose to create a paperback version by selecting Create Paperback. If you already have a paperback version prepared, you can link it directly using the Link Existing Paperback option. Similarly, you can create or link a hardcover version of your book. Now let me briefly show you the bookshelf section. This is where all your books, published in drafts, are stored. You'll see a full list of the books currently associated with your KDP account. This makes it easy to manage and organize your publishing projects in one place. Next, we have the Community tab. As the name suggests, this is where KDP users from around the world gather to share their experiences, ask questions, and help each other. Whether you need help with formatting, book marketing strategies, or simply want to connect with other self-publishers, the KDP community is a great place to start. You'll find a wide range of topics being discussed and a lot of active members willing to assist. And lastly, there's the marketing section. This is a powerful tool to promote your book once it's live. You can create Amazon ads, enroll your ebook in promotional programs like Kindle Deals, or take advantage of other marketing features to increase visibility and drive more sales. So there you have it, a complete walkthrough of how to create a KDP book cover with Canva, how to set up your book on the KDP platform, and how to manage and market it effectively. Thanks a lot for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss future updates. And if you have any questions, drop them down in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Until next time, take care and goodbye.